Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk. We talk movie. And now, here's Popcorn Talk's iTalk Movies.
Hey guys, I am so happy to be in the studio today with Jason Ritter. You might, recognize him from Parenthood, but you know his voice from Frozen 2. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. How are you doing?
I am so excited to be here with you, and I'm your host, Chae Jones. And we're just gonna jump into this because Frozen 2, and I have some news to share with you because I don't know if you know this. Did you know that Frozen 2 has made history?
Yes, I did know that.
It is the highest grossing animation
of
movie all time. Now, how does that feel knowing that a movie you're part of is now the leading in animation?
It feels really great, and then if we're ever unseated, I'll be looking forward to who my new sworn enemies are.
Sworn enemies, I like that. Now, how many times have you seen Frozen 2?
I have seen Frozen 2 twice.
Only twice?
Only twice, but I imagine it's going to be a lot more. It was wonderful both times. There's more to see.
I mean, there's definitely more to see because you're not a stranger to the voiceover world. Just in case you don't know, you've heard his voice being Dipper Pines on Gravity Falls on
Yes.
Disney XD, Disney Channel, and I want to say Disney Junior, but it's not on there. Disney Plus, I know, has it.
I think it does have it. Yeah.
So that's amazing.
Yeah.
But I know, obviously, Frozen's a little different.
Yes.
Gravity Pines was at all.
Yeah, they're both they're woods around in both.
They're definitely woods
Yeah.
and magic.
And magic, but yeah, and Ryder and Dipper sound a little bit alike.
Yeah.
One's a little higher, one's a little lower. Those are my two voices.
I mean, they're distinctive. So
Yes, they are distinctive.
they hold their own.
Yeah, Ryder's voice doesn't crack as much as mine and Dipper's.
Well, so how does it feel, really, when you're asked to be a part of this global phenomenon that is Frozen?
It was very exciting. Actually, the whole audition process was a real personal journey for me because it was the first time that I had ever had to sing in an audition, and I I almost didn't go in for the first audition because I was too scared, and I also can't sing like any of the actors who are already in the Frozen movies. They're pretty high caliber of vocal talent there, and so I was filled with insecurities, and then I thought, well, why don't, instead of me saying no, why don't I go in and try it and let them say no to me, and at least I've conquered this fear of going in and auditioning. And then I got a call back, and I went to a vocal coach, Pisha McPhee, who was amazing, and she helped me with my confidence and my voice, and then I went back in and was fully excited to have that be the whole story. Like, I went in, I did it, I really tried, and then I got the call that I got it.
Why was singing such a fear for you?
I think a lot of it, I mean, I love singing, and I sing all the time, especially in private.
I mean, as one does.
As one does. And I go to karaoke, and I love that too. But I think in my head there was like a difference between a professional singer and me. And I know that I can carry a tune, but I don't know that I can belt out a beautiful song. But a lot of those little boundaries are in your own head, and it's not actually how other people see you. So, and I continue to have like a little rule for myself in my life that if I'm not going to do something because I'm just scared of being embarrassed or scared of just sort of general social shame, I force myself to do it anyway, and then I see what happens. And being embarrassed is not so bad.
That is very true, because I think when you're embarrassed, that's not exactly a good enough reason not to do something.
Exactly, yeah. And you can stop yourself from having an experience.
And what an experience it turned out to be for you.
And what an experience it turned out to be. And I didn't even have to actually sing in the movie, so it was all,
You're like, I sung for my audition, but I didn't have to in the movie, so it all worked out.
It all went down just the way it should have.
What was your song you did for the audition?
I did, first I did Suddenly Seymour from Little Shop of Horrors.
Yes.
In karaoke, I usually go up for the Audrey part because it is a duet. This time I just sang it all one key. And then for my final audition, I sang She's Got a Way with Billy Joel song that I didn't actually know before Pisha introduced it to me.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, your character, Ryder,
Yeah.
is stuck in a mist.
Yes.
For apparently 34 years, they have been stuck in this curse.
Yeah. They cannot get out.
And you have an affinity, or let's say Ryder has an affinity for reindeers that rivals Kristoff's.
Yes, absolutely. They, I think both Ryder and Kristoff are no strangers to loneliness. Kristoff spent a lot of time in the snow before he met the ladies, and I think Ryder has been with the same group of people for his whole life, and probably knows all their stories, and found some solace in the reindeer and talking to the reindeer, and they're much more attentive listeners.
Very, because a lot don't walk away from you.
Exactly.
They just listen.
They just listen sometimes. If they walk away from you, don't take it personally. They're just hungry.
How close would you say you and Ryder are personality wise?
We're pretty close, I have to say. Yeah, almost. Aside from I've never spent any time trapped in an enchanted wood.
Besides
but other than that, yes, I usually wear a lot of hats. He wears a hat. And I think, his general spirit and if I had never seen the sky, it would drive me crazy too. I would wanna see it.
What was your favorite scene of Frozen 2? Whether you were in it, a scene or not.
Yes. My favorite scene is when Elsa goes across the
Dark Sea.
Yeah, the Dark Sea, and finds the truth. I don't know if you haven't seen it yet. Why haven't you seen it yet?
I know we're gonna spoil some things today, guys.
But yeah. But when it's all revealed, and I just thought it was such a beautiful performance, and I also really enjoyed Olaf's recap of the first Frozen.
That was
parents are dead.
That was the most amazing retelling of a story ever done in history.
It was amazing.
I love when he dressed up like the Troll King with the grass wig.
Yeah.
It was just, I want him to tell me stories every time now.
Me too. Josh Gad is a treasure.
Definitely. And we have some treasures in the live chat who are excited that you're here. I have Sean Johnson, I'm going to spell the other part, JDOUAT7, Bozzellini, and they just say, Jason, I love this dude. Sean Johnson says, Jason Ritter, you should definitely go for a superhero, bro.
I should. I started exercising and try to get those abs going.
And Bozzellini says, I met your dad in DC at a presidential show and he was so nice.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for telling me that.
So, and I also have Jill Honegger. I hope I said that correctly. Jill Honegger in the chat. And they're just excited that you're here.
Aww.
And as am I.
I am excited to be here as well.
And what I love so much about
What
I love so much about Frozen 2 was, the mystery, I think what was interesting for me was one of the bigger themes was change.
Yes.
And the one thing we can say about life or the one constant of life is change.
Yes, absolutely.
Because the movie takes place 3 years later.
Yeah.
And I think the most amazing part of it was the fact that, two things. That water has memory, which just is very cool.
Very cool, yeah.
And obviously there are more than just 4 elementals that we're so used to. Earth, water, fire, and air. And then you have the 5th one that somehow holds everybody together, and that ends up being Elsa. Spoiler alert if you have not seen the movie.
It's your fault now. It's been a while.
November.
The DVD's out, guys.
Okay, the DVD is out, but we'll get to that a little bit later.
Yeah.
But if you were able to possess a earth, air, water, fire, or ice, which one would you like to possess and why?
I would have to say air, because I think it's sort of an invisible one. So you could make certain things. You could make things look like you were magic. I could float your laptop off the table. I think I would probably be able to make it seem like I was flying if I put a bunch of air under my arms.
I think wouldn't you be like using your arms?
Oh
to,
yeah.
like push the,
like a jetpack kind of situation. Yeah, for sure. I think that would be the best one.
Now, there are a lot of Scandinavian and Norse mythology that we digged a little bit more into for Frozen 2.
Mm-hmm.
Now, was there a myth that you knew about or did not know while you're making this film? And if so, which one were they?
Specifically,
Norse mythology, I would say.
I knew a little bit of Norse mythology, a lot from God of War. On this last one, I know it started off in Greek mythology, but it was all about Norse this time around. And I knew a little bit, but I definitely learned a lot more in this process about like we were talking about earlier, the water spirit, the Knock. Yeah.
And it's just so gorgeous.
So beautiful. Just a mane that's a waterfall. I just want to...
Just a clear piece of just... Especially because is the visual aspect of that alone makes everything even more powerful. Especially because for the Knock itself in mythology, it was a challenge in a way for you to possess it.
Yes, exactly.
Like if you weren't up to the challenge,
it was dangerous.
You'd likely die.
Yeah.
You'd likely die from it. However, but if you met the challenge,
it would respect you and
help you.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Which is basically what Elsa had to figure out for herself.
Yeah.
And I love both Anna and Elsa learned so much more about themselves at this time around than when we first met them.
Yeah, they both face huge challenges, and it gets intense. I mean, at one point it really does seem like all is lost. And when I first watched the movie, because when we were doing the voiceover sessions, I only ever got to see my scene, so there were a couple moments where I was like, what? How are they going to get out of this? Where's Olaf? Why is he okay? What happened? And it was really beautiful and moving, and I think embracing change and not being afraid to keep moving, especially when the light. The song that really gets me is the Next Right Thing, where it's at the sort of the darkest moment of the movie, and all Anna can think to do is just like one step in front of the other, and I just thought that was so moving and beautiful.
And also for the Next Right Thing, it's also doing what's right even though it's hard.
Yes,
and
exactly.
That's like the biggest thing that I think as human beings is hard for all of us.
Yeah, oh yeah.
To make that type of choice. Yeah.
So many of us, for sure me, will choose easy over difficult anytime, and there comes a time where that's the only option, is to do the right thing no matter what.
And we learned more about Anna's parents, like how they first met.
Yes, we
do.
It
was just so romantic and just so cute,
little Romeo and Juliet kind of.
So at least they died together, but they were happy and had kids.
Yeah, exactly. That's positive moments. Yeah,
the reference.
Yeah, exactly. Happy for a time.
Happy for a time, and they died in each other's arms. Which, at least they didn't die,
separate
or alone.
Scared. Yeah.
They had each other.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
What was interesting for me was the fact that the first movie we discovered, okay, Anna and Elsa have to figure out how to be sisters again, and now we're 3 years later. They're sisters, but now also how do they be their individual selves? Right, exactly. And because that's two different questions. Yeah, and especially when you have come to, you bonded and you have come to rely on someone and they've come to rely on you, it can be tough to communicate to another person, like, this is actually something that I need to do alone. And thank you for supporting me, but stay here. I'm gonna send you down the river. Yes, I know, exactly. With some earth giants and yeah, I hope you're okay. I don't know how thought out that was. It was dangerous. I mean, technically, she knew. She must have known. She didn't try. Anna didn't help the situation. Yeah, that's true. She went off to the side. They veered that was her in fault. A direction they were supposed to go in. Guys, be careful. Anna. I love the bromance that happens between Ryder and Kristoff in this, where you try to help help him with this proposal.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just a great moment. All the reindeers, and obviously it did not go the way it should have.
It did not. Unfortunately, the wrong person walked up.
Very awkward.
Very awkward. She did the right thing by rejecting the proposal.
Because I don't know you.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm old enough to be your grandmother.
Yeah.
Sir. This is sweet.
Yeah, very sweet. I appreciate it, but no.
Now, are you yourself, Jason, a fan of the big gesture or more simple, will you marry me type of proposals?
I'm a fan of both. I think whatever's right for you and for the other person. I think that if the core thing is there, you can for sure go big, especially if you like the other person and that that's what they like as well. If they are not so much about public spectacle, then maybe a flash mob is not the way to go. But for me personally, I proposed to Melanie, and it was very, I probably could have gone a little bit up from like the most subtle.
So that actually begs the question, what did you do? How did you propose?
There's a lot of sweat. It was around the holidays, and so I had gotten the ring, and it just was kind of like, it was like the telltale heart. It was just burning away, and this I could hear it. It was in the dresser, and I was like, oh, it's there. And so I was just at one point I said, "Do you want another Christmas present? Early Christmas present?" And then I went and I got it, and I knew it was a ring that she liked. I don't know if it is like a classic engagement ring, because I remember when I went to the store and I got it, and I knew because she had pointed it out and said, that looks too much like an engagement ring, but that's such a cool ring. When I got it, the ladies were like, okay, there we go. And I was like, wow, it's a big day. And they're like, all right. And they put it in like a little bag and like a box, like not the thing like this.
Oh, they didn't give you an actual...
No.
Oh.
So then I gave her this box like this, and she opened it and pulled out this little bag, and then there was a ring in it, and she's like, what is this? And I was like, all right, so let's just talk. Hear me out.
I love that. Hear me out.
Yeah, I just like, this ring is a symbol. Started really rambling, and I thought I was doing well and chipping away at my honest proposal, and at a certain point she went, oh, sorry, gosh, for a second I thought you were like proposing to me. And I said, I am. That's what's happening. And even still, like throughout the thing, she's like, so
that is the best story ever.
She's like, what finger can I? And I was like, the finger. It's not a. Gosh.
So we had a little bit of a Christoph and Anna situation.
Yeah, oh my gosh,
happening
for
here.
sure, without anybody interrupting us or anything like that, which I probably could have used. I don't think I ever got down on one knee. It was all just like sitting on a couch next to each other, like, I didn't expect to give this to you right this minute, but here's here's what I think about us and life and marriage and all this stuff. So because it was not the most like epic gesture, I've proposed to her a couple of times since then to try to make it better, where I've gotten down on one knee and I quickly take the ring off, and then I tell her, and I do the whole thing, and I say the full name, and will you marry me? And she's usually embarrassed.
It is so cute, though.
Thanks.
I love that.
Oh.
Now, there have been a few Frozen shorts that we've seen over the years. Mm-hmm. Now, if there would happen to be a Ryder and Honeymaren short, what would you like it to be about?
Oh, boy. I would love for it to be, if they made a Ryder and Honeymaren short, I think what I would love it for it to be is for them to be outside of the woods, maybe in Arendelle or maybe somewhere even else, discovering how the other side of the world has lived. They've been so isolated that I think it would be fun to see them trying some new foods, doing some traveling.
Like asking, what is this?
Yeah.
Like, what's that?
Yeah, what is it? This is delicious. Trying on clothes. Just basically a fun montage is what I'm looking for.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Now, we know the first thing you guys did when you walked out, the reindeer, did a little tribe. I think it was just very amazing to see.
Yeah.
What was the
Reindeer
second
circle.
thing? Ryder would have done once they were out of the mist?
Oh boy. I think he would have done a lot of looking at the sky until someone said, "Hey, don't look at that big shiny thing for too long.
You will hurt your eyes."
You will hurt your eyes. But yeah, I think he probably would have just what I would have done if I was Ryder is I'd probably just run really fast with my eyes closed in a field where there's no trees you can't bump into. Yeah, just like, I'll just feel the free space. Because I imagine if you have only ever lived in the woods, you bump into a lot of trees.
Yeah, or earth giants.
Yeah, or earth giants.
Or our little salamander friend, which is just
sweet
adorable.
Sal Bruni, yeah, he's cute.
Adorable.
He is adorable.
He's just like, I just want to feel what it's like to be all chilly for a moment.
I know. I love how much he appreciates the cool.
It was a nice just showing of like the understanding is like seemed that Bruni had with Elsa in that moment.
Yeah, like, oh, okay, we're two sides of the same coin.
And we caused a little bit of destruction, but we're very warm people.
Yeah, we mean well,
We try.
We try. Sometimes we're not in full control of our powers, but that comes with age.
That's awesome, and with changes and transformation.
Yeah, and Bruni's probably only several 100,000 years old.
Or like, because he's been in the forest for the entire 34 years as well.
Yeah, exactly. I think so.
Now, we're going to play a little game.
Oh.
We're going to test your Frozen music knowledge.
Okay.
And we've dubbed it Let It Lyric.
Okay, go.
Are you game?
Yes.
Okay, let's do it. So I'm just going to say a line or two of a Frozen song. You have to tell me the actual title.
Okay.
Okay. So, normal rules did not apply. Is this the day? Are you the way?
That is called Are You the Way?
No.
No? Okay.
Show Yourself.
Oh, Show Yourself. I got to learn the titles of the actual songs. Yeah, Show Yourself.
Okay, next one.
Yeah.
And find out what happens to solid water when it gets warm.
Lost in the Woods.
No.
No, I know that was wrong. That's the only title I know.
Summer.
Oh, yeah, of course. Gosh.
I'm doing both movies just
Okay, yeah.
because I got to throw you some in there. The next step was a question of how. I never thought it was a question of whether.
That was a question of whether. Next right thing?
No. It was Lost in the Woods.
Oh, that's right. Not a question of whether. Yeah, I could have gotten that one.
I've started talking to the pictures on the walls.
That's is that Into the Unknown?
No. That is, do you want to build a snowman?
Oh, that's in the first one when she's lonely and she's talking to the pictures on the... This is so embarrassing. Yeah, let's keep going.
You are lost, hope is gone, but you must go on.
The next right thing.
Yes!
Oh, I'm not at 0% anymore. Okay, good.
Okay, last one. Who knows deep down I'm not where I'm meant to be?
Who knows deep down I'm not where I'm meant to be? Into the Unknown.
It is Into the Unknown.
Okay, yeah. I knew that one.
Yay!
2 out of 19.
So, are there any new projects you have coming up that you want to promote? I mean, besides the fact that Raising Dion's coming back for season 2.
Yes, which I'm very, very, very excited about. That's mainly it. I worked on a million little things, and that's all aired. And so, the next thing I think that people will be able to see is, Frozen 2 on your DVDs at home.
They definitely can, because it is now on Blu-ray and DVD.
And digital. And
there's some deleted scenes, some Easter eggs.
Outtakes.
Sing-alongs. Into the Unknown in 29 different levels. I can't even.
Yeah, it's amazing.
You guys in the chat have been so awesome. Birthday
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Birthday, dear Jason. Happy birthday to you.
Beautiful harmonies.
Because it was your birthday last week and we couldn't let you celebrate a birthday without celebrating here with us.
Thank you so much. That is a delicious looking cake.
Thank you. And I'm going to get into a couple questions we have in the chat before we go.
I almost put that back.
Anna.
Yum.
I'm just going to say Anna. Pretend I can say your whole name. Jason is such a kind and funny person. Love him. They say greetings from Germany.
Oh.
Danielle W. wants to know, can you do a project with your brother Tyler?
I would love to do a project with my brother Tyler. I cannot wait. I know it's going to happen at some point. He's such a lovely person and an incredible actor, and I want to play his brother.
Luckily, you get to play it in real life.
I do.
For no cost of money.
It's true.
Hopeful Miracle says, that sounds like such a cute and honest and meaningful proposal.
Thank you. It was
You're
very
getting a lot of
honest.
love in the chat for your proposal story.
Oh, thanks.
Because they just can't get over it. They said, the best story I have ever heard. Wishing Melanie, you and your daughter the best.
Oh, thank you.
Hopeful Miracle also wants to know, is it easier acting in front of a camera or doing voiceover for characters?
I think in front of a camera, just because you have the other actor there and you get to kind of work off of them, and sometimes in just a voice booth on your own, you can kind of lose track of the reality of things that are happening. But they both have lovely things about them.
Well, thank you, Jason, so much for joining us. You guys, check it out, Frozen 2 on digital, and take it home with you on Blu-ray or DVD, everywhere in America, U.S., eventually international as well. Jason, can you tell the people where they can find you on all your social media platforms?
Yes, you can find me on Twitter at Jason Ritter. You can find me on... They can hear this music, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. You can find me on Instagram at Jason_Ritter.
And you guys can find me at Real Chae Jones on Twitter and Instagram, and Disney News Weekly on Popcorn Talk. Every Tuesday, Wednesday was when it's uploaded. Thank you guys so much for joining us in the chat. You guys have been amazing. Bye, guys.
Bye. Thanks you for joining.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Popcorn Talk Network or its own.